lost. Of course, we lost that. Of course.
The kobold had to reboot.
You around so that you stay. Let's say I'll say in the dark, or at least right. Nothing really happens for about the better part of an hour or two. So, by the way, Pax Farron, if you wish to take a short rest, this definitely constitutes as one.
Yes, please. Thank you, please.
Mind if I do?
At some point, two things happen sort of simultaneously. One is that a food is delivered. A series of almost sort of a series of dumb waiters sort of open up in the walls, and again the same kind of skewers, bowls of bowls of soup are sort of delivered. I think it would be one massive cauldron, and then you have a pile of you have a sort of cylinder of wood that is individually cut into sort of plates or bowls. And the same is the door opens with all your crew sort of moving to be fed. The part of the wall opens up to a door, and you can see Hazel, Almond, and Tiberius, sort of like apologetic muscle, calling to you, Astrea. Captain, may we have a word? I will not keep you from your crew too long, and we have our own meal if you wish to partake.
Astrea will.
Any officers you are comfortable to bring along are welcome.
Astrea will include Pebblebrook and ask the others to join.
So, Farron, Pax, Gizmo, and Pebblebrook.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're really leaving these people without supervision?
No, Pax refuses. The moment that you ask Pax, without getting up, without looking up from the cot that he decided was going to be his.
Lower or top bunk?
Top bunk.
Okay.
I'm staying with the crew.
All right. Astrea will.
Okay. So the four of you, right? Astrea, Farron, Gizmo, Pebblebrook, are sort of you brought outside. The doors, the wall sort of seals its way behind you. And you are with Tiberius in the back, sort of escorted to a bit further up the tree, not too far. Though it almost seems like as you're walking, you almost feel it's almost like an elevator weight. You know that extra weight when you're being pushed forward, as in you feel that you're being pushed. You climb the tree faster than you should.
Yeah.
To the point where you come to this sort of open little residence, sort of chamber, balcony, and from there you have a view on Phosphore Island, so the one so Waterward, and it's this beautiful shimmering forest in glowing with the same almost sort of not the same colors of the expanse, darker maybe, but the fact that it's almost like a tree. It's almost neon in some ways under the foliage. Almond sort of and it clears the way Almond sort of has sort of her satchel. She places on. She sort of throws it onto a sort of a low table, almost sort of secondhand, and you can see literally Hazel cannot help herself, grab it and put it up on on the shelf nearby. This is clearly their shared living space, and you know who's the disorderly one and who's the orderly one immediately. This little space is it's full of nooks where you will see objects, statuettes, little prizes. You'll see it's decorated like a collector, and under every one there is a little sort of inscribed in the wood, in so almost like sort of branded into the wood. You'll have not a date, but you'll have a name, right, or some origin, right? And you'll see, and you start realizing that all of these are names that could be names of ships. But it also feels, some of these items don't feel like they're trophies, but they could be reminders, mementos. Right? You'll see IMS or EMS, and then you'll have just another name. To the point where I think one of them is this. One of them, I think, one of the more peculiar one is a porcelain figurine, wearing of a merfolk. It's about a foot tall, articulated as a, sort of like a doll, right? So the unfortunately the clothing is reminiscent of sort of imperial high society kind of stuff, but you can see that it's been burnt and lacerated. These, as you step forward, she sort of invites you forward onto the balcony, and again you can see Phosphor Island underneath. You would be, I mean, you are literally, if we're looking at the map, you were literally where this red dot is right here. Sort of on that side, sort of looking.
Yeah,
to the
okay.
side.
That's quite a view, Captain.
Well, it's one of the purviews of Maladel Island and the tree here. Once again, I wish to express my most sincere apologies for having had to take measures with regards to for you and your crew. It is not my intention to displease you in any way. I want to make sure that you and yours are comfortable, and I want to reassure you that that you are in no way under house arrest. Actually, no, you are kind of on house arrest, but there's no wish to imprison you. You're neither hostages or prisoners. The arrangements that we need to make are almost done. We should, by next early cycle, you would be completely free to go.
So one rest cycle and then...
Yes, and then I will be back working on your ship, and your crew will be free to roam the island as they wish, just as before.
Did you manage to get any extra information about out of the spies, or even just magically?
Yeah, Hazel, can you And Hazel sort of clears. You can see that there's a few books and scribbles situated on the table, and sort of Hazel sort of takes them, moves them to the side, and then she brings out pretty much all of a whole series of different elements. She'll bring out so the journal, the ring, her own notes, as well as assorted sort of bits and papers and trinkets that were apparently found within the effects of the other two. And, of course, you have the broken device that had created that fog cloud. And one other working equivalent, actually. So this one's still intact.
Ooh.
So Hazel speaks. From what we could understand and ascertain, all of this is of Imperial make, though they've gone to great efforts to make sure that they are not identified as so. These smoke apparatuses were specifically made to not attract attention by any of Druidic order. We've seen some of these used and deployed and during Imperial assaults on ships. They would throw these grenades of sorts to smoke out cabins and such, but usually they are metal. This one, wood. The ring is clearly a ring of transmission. However, from whatever piece might have been, a piece seemed to have been designed to either fail or disappear once used. As is, this seems to be unusable.
Is there any way to recover who was targeted from these remains?
We cannot determine. You mean the receiver of the message? No, that we cannot identify. However, it cannot be too far away. It would have to be within the expanse. These rings do not carry beyond. So it is poor information to say, but this was not sent to the Empire directly. At the furthest, it would have been sent to the port here in the Expanse.
That is still a vast amount of...
Absolutely. What is a bit more concerning is we try to ascertain what their mission was here. The captain has given me some leeway as to some explanation, but understand that these are very much part of the security of the island, and while we do trust you, there are some things that we cannot...
Need to remain secret. I understand.
We thank you for that understanding.
I suppose the one thing that infiltrators do is they would take the time to sabotage the things that even you would take for granted in terms of your security.
That is why we have decided to bunk your crew for now. We wanted to be sure that measures could be taken on our end without putting your people in danger, but also not revealing all of our systems to those. Usually these are much more discreet. However, by fear of sabotage, we could not afford that luxury.
An overhaul is
Some
manner
systems
of-
would have been made bare. Yes, unfortunately.
Is it any possibility that that was part of their gambit? In case of discovery, have you all scramble and send notification through everything, every system, thereby exposing it to agents that might have been unaware of them until now?
We have taken that into account. Now, while this is not the first incursion that the Empire or or whether Imperial or Irisian, Maladel, as you are told, have been told, is a sentinel island. We have means to protect ourselves, not just with the asphodel, of course. And those means are quite a mystery to any that would try to invade. Hopefully, we should not need any of those methods in the coming days. However, what I have tried, and with some matters and ciphers to try and decipher this text, while I could not determine the exact purpose of it, it seems that they have had an interest that was not necessarily our defenses, but a person that was among us for a while.
Oh, is that the and I would no. I don't have the pages, do I? That's still with
I think
That's
Gizmo
still
will
with
still
Gizmo.
have them, yeah.
Gizmo. Yeah.
Well, I can still show them. I'm there, so I can pass you the.
Oh
The
yeah, right,
papers.
yeah, absolutely. So you
Yeah.
just blunk the papers onto.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, thank you. And so she sort of again she sort of rearranges the papers to sort of and rearrange the different objects on the table so that everything is sort of homogeneous. Right. Yes, we a few months ago, thanks to a vision from Cosmara, we rescued a young man named Dander. He stayed with us for a while and then decided to, well, move on to the next island. He seemed a curious chap, someone of a wandering spirit. And from what I can see, well, he's taken to heart to chronicle his journeys. From what I could determine from my loose interpretation of these ciphers is that they were trying to look for him, or were on his trail, trying to determine what he was up to. I could not decipher why or how or what he might have seen.
This Dander, you rescued him from what exactly?
That is a bit. Cosmara had seen him fall overboard from a ship, and had oriented us just in time to pick him up from the drink before he drowned.
So, fallen overboard or thrown overboard, escaped right to...
He was very fuzzy with the details.
Right.
He was
and,
grateful. He was grateful we picked him up. He was friendly enough, and we have a tendency of not. She glowers at towards Almond. Almond says, "Look, Cosmara dreamt him up. He was real, and we trust Cosmara. She's never failed us for now. So if we, for whatever reason, she dreamed that we needed to pick him up, It was only going to be good for the island and for the crew. And for the few months where he stayed with us, he was a perfect gentleman, very curious, hard worker, paid for, and once he had pretty much determined that he had paid for his rescue, decided to take the first ship to Fjosforin. Much to Kozmara's dismay.
Was there an entanglement there?
Again, Alman sort of has a sort of side smile and says, "I think it was one-sided, at least. I don't pry too much into the private lives of my crew.
But still, so
At least when they're on land.
So might she know more about his story then, either out of curiosity or confession?
Definitely something that we're going to have to see with her later. But before that, I wanted to bring you up to speed.
In the meanwhile, some of my crew are not taking the most patiently to being cooped up. And if that person, that Dander, is on Phosphor, or at least that's where he went next, you had a mission for us on Phosphor.
Did we?
That you asked us.
Yes.
You did ask us to get water.
Yes, Captain. We have deliveries to make to Phosphor for food in exchange for water. Oh, yes, of course. I see where you're going with this. Absolutely. That would make sense. Absolutely.
We would be out of your hair. You would have more time for your overhaul, and my crew wouldn't feel cooped up and captive, but instead have a decent mission.
That could work well. Plus, it means that I keep my full crew manning the island in case there is an emergency, and you can get to the bottom of this. I can see that working well for the both of us. And I am sorry to learn that your crew isn't taking it well.
Not all of them.
I understand it. I fully understand the sentiment. I would not want to... I am myself a creature of freedom, and that's why most of us are here in the Expanse anyways. I will be sure to ask Koya to bring them some libation later. Is there anything that needs to be transferred from the ship?
Oh, I thought you had my message. I was thinking about getting my crew on our ship and going to Phosphor as soon as possible.
I still have some work on your ship, unfortunately, before we can get to that. Anyway. I can speed up the repairs. I don't think I'm needed for the overhaul here. More of a supervisory role anyways, and Hazel's more than apt than that. I can try and work a bit faster on... maybe if I had a conversation with your shipwright. Emile, was that the name?
Yes. I would have to come with you to the ship.
I understand. No
or
worries.
one of my officers, at least. He is a very skittish man and doesn't trust a lot of people.
Considering the circumstances and the way his circumstances, and I understand that not a lot of people would a lot of people would be skittish around him anyway, so I understand his precautions. Right. So. In short, I will get working on your ship as fast as possible. I will ask Koya to leave the door opened to your rooms, or at least set in a movable door. That way, you and your crew feel less contained. I will, however, ask that they volunteer to not go wandering the island during this until before their next sleep cycle. I will not hide the fact that some of my crew are rattled. Bayleaf, or whatever he is really called, had managed to gain some very deep trust in quite a few of the crew, and a few of the here at the fort. He was very gifted in infiltration, from what I can understand, and had created some attachments these last months. So paranoia and the feeling of betrayal is high right now.
That is entirely understandable.
I have also gleaned that most of your crew are of Imperial origin. That is not necessarily in good favor right now. I know it's difficult to understand, but if you could purvey to your crew that this is both for their safety as well as ours.
Of course.
We may be druids, we may be pacifists, but we can be vicious when we wish to. Which brings me to the matter of thanking you for bringing this to our attention. This and the way this situation and the way you've conducted yourselves to this has definitely not gone unnoticed. Now, we do not necessarily have the greatest reputation here on the Isles, but we will be sure to pass along the word should anyone ask about you.
That is really appreciated. The more goodwill we can gather here, the easier the path forward.
You will find that among these islands, reputation is as precious, if not more, than any currency. One way or the other.
Yes.
Right. I will not keep you from your crew any longer. I will make sure. Do your crew prefer the harder liquor or more of the wine variety? I will send both.
A mix will probably be the surer way to satisfy everyone.
Very well. Okay. Tiberius, if you can bring them back. Yes, Captain. Thank you, Captain. And yeah, she sort of sits, grabs a glass, and sort of goes, Hazel, where am I? Look, it's all over the place. By the way, at any point, I'm asking if all of the items have been placed upon the desk. Before you are escorted out, is there any last thing that you wish to do?
Yeah, Captain Hazel. So yeah. Captain and Hazel.
Yes.
If you don't mind, Would you be agreeable for Gizmo to have a look at the smoke machines of the Imperials?
Technically, these belong to your crew. These are your prizes. You smoked them out. You caught them, and so she throws you. Well, no, she hands you the last sort of smoke grenade. Do you wish for the ring as well?
I'll ask. Well, since he is a tinker of the arcane, if he can have it. We never know what secrets he could uncover through them.
Okay. Yep. And lastly, do you wish to take the notebook back, or not?
Well, I mean, I don't really have a way to decipher it. I'm not versed enough. So if Hazel has a way, I prefer to leave it with her, with them. But I'd certainly ask if they uncover any other information to be kept aware of it.
Okay. The Tiberius sort of escorts out. So Gizmo, I'll have to create the smoke grenade, but basically it is one
Yes.
use of the fog cloud spell.
Okay.
With no concentration needed. And the broken ring, you'll know more about it when you examine it.
Fair enough.
Right. Anything that I've forgotten? Yeah. And by the way, all the pages. Well, did you take back the dander pages or not?
Those I would ask back if they're agreeable to it.
Absolutely.
And if they want, we can copy. Well, there can be a copy made.
No worries. Right.
I mean, if we're going to Phosphor, having interesting information about the local fauna and flora is always interesting.
Yeah, right? No.
Anyone anything to add among the those presents? So,
I think Farron asked everything that he had that came to his mind, so he's going to remain in observation in the room.
okay.
As you sort of exit, I think Pebblebrook goes, Captain, if I may.
Yes.
Didn't think it was appropriate to bring it up there and then, but we've had a few. Let's put it this way. We've had a few of the crew that are with more carnivorous appetites that are feeling a bit frustrated about the current menu. If you catch my drift.
Yes.
You would. Actually, if I may, he sort of turns to Tiberius. Tiberius, my lad. No offense to any of those who would walk on 2 or 4 legs here on the island, but how do you cater to the more carnivorous appetites? And Tiberius goes, usually we don't. Fish, whatever we can catch, needs to be properly prepared, of course. But no, if you want anything of meat, you'll have to go to Caltere. They've got the hogs on their end. Here, you won't find anything that. Well, I'll be. Sort of looks to you, Astrea. I'll be sure to request a stop on that. That way.
Will do.
Thank you, Captain. It's been a while since I've had a proper blood pudding. Tiberius going, what? Don't worry about it, lad. Specialties are not, local specialties. Where are you from, little man? Ah, well, that's a great story. And basically, as you're walking, he's talking about where basically that little village, top of the hill, somewhere. Sounds quite charming until you realize that the reason why he left is because there's nothing happening there. As you and the tale takes the whole time of going downward the spiral down to the
Yeah.
and I think the last as you come up to the door and Tiberius sort of listening quite politely and pretty much sort of intrigued sort of taps twice on the wall. The door opens, and I think the last part of the Justice Pepperbrook says, "Oh, and left with my handkerchief just in hand, nothing else." Oh no, the cousins wouldn't let me take anything from the inheritance. I can tell you that. Oh, here we are, and sort of walks right in. Ah, miss me, folks. Just the crew. It's literally that scene in Cheers where everybody turns and goes Norm. It pretty much there we go, and he's back into his element. You're not exactly sure when or how he managed to hypnotize the crew into that response, but it happened.
Well, lads, once the cheers have gone down, well, lads, I've got some news.
There you go. How about we stop? We cut there, and we go back to PAX, and see what's been happening for the past couple of minutes. As your captain, officers, and bosun sort of leave the room, the door once again sort of closes, and it's very much that sort of, roots creeping up, and then almost like the inside of a cage, and then widening to sort of form the wall. The food that is being prepared once again is this. So it's a hearty stew, vegetable broth, and sort of and skewers. Nothing that is. It's meat and potato stew without. I guess it would be a sort of potato or leek soup, that kind of thing, right? It's fairly hearty, basic, but you've definitely had worse in these past couple of weeks out at sea.
I think in that, as Astrea, Farron, Pebblebrook, and Gizmo all leave, Pax takes a moment just from his vantage point, the crew being distracted with a little bit of cooking, a little bit of chit-chatting, to really take his time of doing something he used to do on a Triumph, which is observe the crew. He's grown used to the crew not necessarily confiding in him when something's wrong, but he's always taken his position as first mate seriously. And he's really just going to try and check which little cliques have which vibe from afar. Which seem nervous, which seem relaxed, which are bored. Would that be an insight check from where I am?
Yeah, make me an insight check. I'll give you, and we'll treat it with advantage because you're taking your time.
That is a nat 20.
That is very nice. Okay.
I'm an argumentative first mate, but I'm a good first mate.
Yeah. Plus, I mean, half the people in this room are your former crew, right? So you kind of know them as well.
You've got the home advantage.
You got the home advantage. I see what you did there, and I appreciate it. Yeah, I think it's the cliques. You don't find any. There's not much of a social clique in a way. There are 12 of you, so you've got pretty much 8 people here around the table. It's not enough. It's not big enough to actually create 6 versus 4, or the experiences that they've had seem to have bonded them together well. Here on a natural 20, you can kind of determine that Tressa is feeling a bit dubitative. Maybe there's some form of guilt that you can kind of read on her face. Once Pebblebrook left, anything that had linked to do so that game chest, that game board is sort of left to the side and abandoned. People are talking, and a lot of the conversation has turned around that idea of, oh, we've all seen something like this, right? Tressa is being interrogated. So, oh, so wait, tell us what happened. And then she sort of explains a bit how the story she told you, basically. She was the cook on the ship, something or other, with less details than she gave you, right? No, none of that mention of a tryst that she had with him or that kind of thing. And is very quick to let go of the subject once another one from the crew said, "Oh yeah, I remember we had something similar," and that kind of thing. Sort of that moves about. And
So,
very much
sorry,
sort of she's very much sort of in retreat, so just listening politely at the table, but being more comfortable being outside the conversation than in.
So essentially, the vibe is very much it turned from distraction, which was clearly led by Pebblebrook, towards taking on the topic at hand, essentially.
Yeah. And it became, at some point, it became sort of like fish stories as well. As in, oh, and I remember, like, oh, I heard about this. Some of these you have heard. There are a couple of these fish stories, because a lot of them are from your crew, that your crew's already heard, but they are finding new. A new audience. Right, so
Right.
I think this would be. I think this would be Asen pretty much talking to Dunnan and Dyken, pretty much saying, "Oh no! You have to know this woman. She was massive," and that kind of thing. With, of course, still sort of wide-eyed thinking, and Karen going, "You're mistaken. She had never even looked at you. However," and then it goes.
Right. Pax has never been good at those. He's always listened in from afar, kind of like he's doing right now. But he's not blind to the fact that the game's been shoved aside and that Tressa is, very much going like to the conversations thrown at her. And I think at one point he's just gonna get up and announce himself as he gets up by just going like looking around.
Go silent.
Immediately noticing that silence, and you see him realize that he probably sounded authoritative and deflates. What kind of ship contest do the Arisians do, huh? And he looks in the direction of Jork, but there's almost that pleading look in his eyes where he realizes he put himself on the spot with no plan at all. And he lowers his head, muttering into his collar, just like, how the fuck does Farron do this?
I think Jorg sort of goes, well, there's the usual test of strength, of course.
Test of strength. I'm guessing you're one of the strongest in your ship, right?
Well, I've always came in second.
Who won?
Never underestimate. Well, now she's the captain.
How about we do that then, huh? One game gets boring, the food is boiling. Still, get over here!
Sure. She sort of finishes off she had been like this pretty much spoon halfway between bowl and mouth for the past 5 minutes. It's sort of basically sort of down, like, oh, ha, and just puts down. Yes, it sort of stands almost to attention next to you. What's up?
Want to do a strength contest against Jork?
And the look that she turns to you is one of, what? Really? And immediately that wide smile of going, oh, this is going to be good.
And Pax does return the grin, going back to a moment on the ship in mid-battle. He taps her on the shoulder, on the same shoulder where that mast landed, for a second. Then turns to Jork and says, "Don't hold back," before stepping aside to see what happens.
Okay. So, I do not know how we're going to do this because I do not have stats for either of them.
We can fluff it.
We can try and fluff it. Why don't... Look, considering that I'm pretty sure, indeed, we're going with the whole Berserker thing, right? More barbarian, which means he's probably going to rage. But considering that he's got greater build, they both would have advantage. So why don't we both roll 2d20s and see who comes up on top? 2d 20. There you go. Oh wow. Okay. Yeah, someone. I rolled a 5 and a 7. You rolled a 3 and a 14.
A 3 and a 14. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that it is definitely. How should I put this? You realize that Jork is probably... There's a lot that is... His innate strength might be because of that build, rather than... He's not very good at arm wrestling. Right? He's... he'd be a good lifter, but he doesn't have the right strength. However, still, is very much someone who's been doing this for money at some point. Right, this is how she made her way through people's shore leave. And immediately you've got a bit of coin on your persons. I think, and so it's one of those things where you see people who do not look very rich, but are gambling way above their means.
Just like what happened on the ship with Farron.
Yeah, pretty much.
Farron
You're seeing pretty much the same kind of sort of exchange, and people are exchanging gold coins, and you're going, this is worth a month's salary in some places in the kingdom or the empire, and you're going, oh, I raise you 4, right? It's absurd. And no Pebblebrook to hold the accounts. So it's very much a free-for-all, and soon enough the money's forgotten. As it becomes pride of the Empire versus pride of the Assyrian, and then everything in the end just blows up, and it's pride for the Chimera.
I think that's pretty much the scene they're gonna walk in on. Pax is gonna latch on to the fact that he succeeded in distracting the crew from the matter at hand until the rest would come back. The more skillful people at doing that would come back. But he would also partake in this case. He would sit down in front of whomever's in the chair at one point, and if they stay seated, then he's going to participate with them.
Of course. Okay. So yeah, I think it's that it's the sounds of cheers and jeers and laughter that sort of brings you, Astrea, back to the back to that small room. And so your words were, "Listen here, folk, I've got news."
Well, and with Pebblebrook's triumphal entrance, Astrea will take it in for a minute. Look at her crew having fun, and
I think that the moment, so the Pebblebrook sort of announces himself, but as you step in, it's not that you ruin the moment. That's not what's happening, right? It's not, oh, everybody's sort of feeling sheepish. It's everybody's turning to you, and the ruckus sort of dies down because the captain's here, the captain's got news.
yeah. Well, listen, lads. Tonight we feast and we drink on the Blood Lily's dime as their thanks for our contribution. And tomorrow, once our ship is ready, we sail for Phosphor Island with a mission. How about that?
Pax gets to his feet and will lead the cheer.
You know what? Make us. No, I'm not gonna have you make a persuasion check.
I will do it scarily. Pax is getting up and going like, ah! Just
Everyone behind him like, what back?
make me a cheer with intimidation. You did not have to roll it. Roll a 12. Oh, that's a double 12.
it's a double 12.
That's a Dagger Hard crit.
Yes, it is. Like split second system swap. That's a crit.
There we go. I think maybe we should come up with a system when you roll a double, what happens. Anyways, can't be a crit, but something interesting might happen. Don't homebrew in the middle of an episode. We'll think about it. Anyways, because that's the best way to forget your homebrew. No, I think that there's cheering. And the cheering is doubly helped by the fact that, yes, from the floor, these two large kegs sort of appear. Well, one sort of vertical cask is sort of brought up. Tiberius goes basically up to it, just pops the lid from it, and from it there's a very sort of sweet, a sweet smell coming from it, and you can see that there's pieces of fruit floating towards the top.
Fruit.
As Tiberius turns to the crew and said, "Watch out for this one. It may look innocent, may taste innocent, but it packs a punch." And then you have you have a series of red tinted glass. These sort of 4 bottles of red tinted glass. Captain, I believe that one is from Captain Nauman's personal reserve, with her compliments.
Don't mind if I do. And Astrea will grab it, open it, have a little sniff, and then grab her cup, serves, and then serve around after she served herself.
Yes, it is fantasy sangria.
I think there's a brief moment when Astrea goes around filling cups, that at one point it would be Pax holding out his cup, and he would just try to have eye contact just to give her a nod. Nothing more.
Okay. And I think that it's with that, unless we have anything to add to the scene, that we can then we can take the leave from our characters there. You, with the agreement that you will at least sleep here. Much easier to just drink and then bunk rather than walking down to the ship.
Yeah.
Which basically means that this room is going to smell like a frat house in a couple of hours.
Doesn't matter if we want.
It's not like the ship was any different.
Fair. Fair. Well, you've got the sea breeze, and you've got people whose job is to mop the deck.
I mean, to be fair, everyone will be too drunk to notice, and once they start noticing, they can they can stand up, take a dunk in the sea, and hop on the ship.
Pretty much. Yeah. The evening goes fairly well. Pebblebrook once again tries to get people interested in his game. Usually gets jeered at to the point where at some point I think Jorg has to catch him quickly with sort of an extended arm as he sort of slips on one of his own tiles and falling backwards. Astrea, by the way, Farron, Gizmo, and Pax, give me all Constitution saving throws. Just let's get this going. If you're headed for the sangria.
So I guess I'm
and Astrea, the Gizmo, that's a 23.
Wow.
Nice.
Damn.
Well, he's a little tank.
Lizard.
He's a little tank, yes.
Someone's not getting.
Somebody's filling their second stomach.
Yeah, that's more like it.
Farron
Someone's been using moonshine since since he was 3 apples high.
Yeah, I am fucked up.
Yeah.
Oh, God, that's a. Yeah.
That's the hangover tomorrow, Farron.
Yeah, I mean, Pax isn't doing too well either. But Astrea, I think.
Have you ever seen a lizard drink? Yeah, they don't hold their liquor.
Astrea, I think that you opened the first bottle.
It's rough.
What would... I'm going to give this to the player. What is... Actually, no, let's put this way. This is mead. But as in, you have that sort of very strong honey wine. But there's something a bit harsher. There's a sort of... it'd be sort of fire mead. At least that's what says it on the bottle. This would be aged as well. So it is definitely... There's a kick, there's a burn to it. Which you find particularly to your taste. Let's put it that way. I will have you, however, still make a Constitution saving throw.
Yeah, I guess as much.
Okay, that's a 12. Again, it's a good buzz. You won't necessarily feel it the next day. But you're not completely incapacitated either. But yeah, you can put into your inventory, should you wish, you can put 3 bottles of fire mead. By the way, these you're pretty sure that these bottles, the way that they've been bottled and the way they are not from the Expanse.
Okay.
You haven't. Well, actually, I was to say you haven't seen bees. No, I specifically mentioned that there were bees and fireflies, sort of luminous bees going around. So, right. On that note, friends, foes, those undeclared, you know the drill. If you are just here for the story, feel free to move on to the next episode or wait for just a week. If you are here if you wish to hear our thoughts, and I was going to say thoughts and prayers, but that's going to be another episode. If you wish to hear our thoughts and debrief on the last 3 episodes, well, just stick for a couple of seconds, and we will be right back to discuss the events previous. Hope to see you there. Hey, welcome back.
Hey.
So, 3 episodes, right? 3 half sessions.
Yeah.
So, let's go a bit back. How did you guys... So, we had a whole Pax and Farron show last time with the whole battle. How did you like that?
I'm a big fan of some fragmented battles or some key moments even happening in a duel or whatever. So I liked it. It was very fun. It was quite high stakes, to be honest. It wasn't a sure thing.
Those guys... Well, it's a good thing that those guys were more... their objective was to get away rather than fuck your shit up.
I think if they would have squared up against the 2 of us, I'm not sure we would have made it through. Or at least...
Considering that I think the 2 novices both had 2 attacks, and the bigger one had 3, yeah.
Yeah, you rolled insanely against Farron, and you rolled like crap against me.
But also, you rolled really well with the novices, and it was...
the veteran, yeah. I mean, I'm going to say this: the veteran was going, you know what? I need to protect my apprentices, or they've got the message. They need to get out. I'll survive this. So it wasn't. I don't think it was over. The dice were telling me, okay, this guy's. He's the one that was recognized. Therefore, he's the one who needs to sort of tank it. He was protecting his crew, basically, which. Yeah, kinda.
It was fun to have kind of like some actual battle work between Farron and Pax at this point, because they've been per canon training on a regular basis and trying to size each other up in terms of their ability to function. So I like that they now know what the other's worth and what the other's capable of in actual combat, kind of like as their combat partner.
Except the fact that you didn't see anything because both of you were separated by a layer of fog.
Yeah.
Touché.
Absolutely, though, there is that degree that actually amplifies this point, in my opinion, because at no moment did it come into me that Pax would think of cancelling pursuit to go check on Farron. He was, he was confident in Farron's own ability. Yeah. And if not, he would have heard Farron yell for help. So Pax did not hesitate. He was able to just go after, don't let them escape. Just stop them, bite the guy in the chimney.
You going reverse Father Christmas on those two kind of
Oh,
like
you
the-
going full Jaws.
I went full Jaws. Arms down, only the jaw up. Ah!
That whole scene was just fun to see. Even without being in the combat, it was so much fun.
When we release
Yeah.
this episode, we need a trigger warning. Claustrophobia.
This
I'll look into
episode had everything.
I mean,
No, except Astrea and Gizmo.
That's true. You guys, I did feel sorry for the two of you though.
well, you know what? I found it actually interesting.
Yeah.
Because it's not often in a D&D session that you've got part of the crew fighting and not the other. Dynamics-wise, I find it interesting that you learn each other's pattern, but without the whole crew being there, so it's also quicker as a fight. And story-wise, it's actually interesting to see Astrea and Gizmo partnering up for once, because that is not a matchup that we've seen often. So for all those reasons, I find that story and
It was
And the outside.
quite a
Yeah.
fun episode, yeah.
it was really fun and
100%.
interesting.
Was there a world where Gizmo finds the alarm spell and just kind of like unlocks the whole thing without causing the
Any alert?
Mhm.
No. The thing is, yes and no, right? The alarm spell. I'll say no because the alarm spell was very much an improvisation that came sort of later on. The idea is like, okay, so how? No, look. If Gizmo had told, if Nader, you had said, "I'm looking for traps. I'm looking for kind of things," then at that point I would have come up with the alarm spell and it goes, "Oh yeah, of course, you find it, right? Or you find something."
Right.
But the way that it had been set up, I think that remember we are in a world of magic, which means that the traps, when you have spyware, it's very much. I had thought about the whole thing about, okay, what are the spells that druids can use? Detect magic is one of them, right? So I would expect that the alarm spell would have been hidden until the moment you opened the box.
Right.
Just the fact that you did not open the box with the proper mechanism, but you sort of took it apart, means that was enough to trigger the spell. There's also I was a lot of thinking about how what would be spyware, what would be spy preparations in a world where detect thoughts is a thing, where so it was fun to think about all of that, and I'm sure so there is another book by Ghostfire Gaming called Agents of the Empire. There's a whole campaign where you play secret agents from the Empire. I have not read that, but now I'm actually quite interested.
Obviously.
But yeah, just seeing the fact that everybody's got smoke bombs all over the place. Yeah, it was fun.
I do like that. The idea of what is seen as contemporary weaponry, like a smoke grenade and stuff like that, appearing here. Technology going against like magic users. I also really like the fact that the Empire, like we know it's, steel and iron and stuff like that in their construction. So
Well, I mean, it's the I think I've mentioned this before. If not, it's a failure on my part. But the part of the interest that the Empire has with Ethereum is because it powers their magicines. They are so if you look at the they are very much they power everything with Ethereum, which means gadgets. It's very much that sort of magi science kind of thing. You'll find more artificers in the Imperium than sorcerers or wizards. At least
that's
these
really
days.
cool. That is really cool.
Yeah. So the idea that Gizmo fell into the wrong. I think the Gizmo, you were Assyrian ship, or was it Imperial?
No, Imperial.
Imperial. Yeah, so you fell right into the right into the right faction there. Erysian, not Assyrian.
Erysian.
Yeah.
Keep making that
Because
mistake.
Assyrian is a real
Yeah.
empire at some point in the
Oh, yeah.
real world.
Listen, at least you don't spend an entire episode calling your fellow player your Baldur's Gate 3 characters.
Yeah, let's talk about that trauma.
Let's not.
Yeah, so you managed to capture them. You had the interrogation scene. With Farron and Pax pretty much roped up, in a way.
It was so funny that Farron tried to talk and every time got his nose bit off, and Pax was just chilling. Honestly, at that point, Pax was pretty much just going like, well, it's in their hands now. I'm done. I'm off duty. I can just slack in these roots and I'm fine.
So I had a conversation with Panda his birthday party a couple of weeks ago. And we
Dating
were
the
talking
episode,
about,
dude. Couple of months ago, you mean?
Fair enough. We were talking about neurodivergence, and then Panda mentioned, well, there's a case to be made that Farron is kind of like autistic. I'm like, okay, how so? Well, he clearly hates change. He also has struggles with social cues, and I'm like, I'm going to paraphrase something that Brennan said in another occasion. I do, in fact, build kind of like traits and flaws into characters, kind of like to round out their personality. That was one of them. So this isn't. If there was any issue in my understanding of social cues, that was not fair.
There's also you building. There's you as a player character designing your character, and there's also the dice.
Yeah.
Right? The idea that we now know that Pax is very articulate, very socially aware, but is unable to actually get that final note that will actually deliver, because that's what it is. Pax is only a problematic in society when I ask him to roll the dice. And he still manages to what was it, that persuasion, natural 20 on a persuasion that happened to be a 17?
Yes. I don't want to test fate and make that happen every episode,
Yeah.
every week, but
no, I think that there's definitely that kind of thing where sometimes the dice and the stats also participate in character creation. And nobody knows who their character is at session 0.
True.
So yeah, I like, and let's face it, Farron. I don't know if Farron is autistic. But he is missing a chunk of his former personality, right? He is an amalgam of some things right now. Still discovering what. So who knows? That savvy might just come up.
Might potentially be influenced by a certain patron as well. So
That too. No,
he's the emotional chimera on the chimera.
You have no idea.
He is. I mean, he is. I suppose he's also kind of like the ship of Theseus, kind of like if so much of you has been replaced, kind of like, and updated, etc. How much of the original person can be still said to be there?
That is a whole conversation to have once we get your next intro scene.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's definitely going to be a theme.
Fun stuff.
Yeah, and so, under Lock and Tree.
Good one.
Oh, that's definitely going to be one of the name of the episodes here. Viewers, you've seen the episode title, so you know already if I did it or not. Yeah, and so I really enjoyed, once again, Astrea and Pax. The tension between those two is really getting interesting.
It's a delight to play. Emmy, I absolutely love. I just want to tell everyone again, this is our first table together.
Does it feel
We're
like
playing
it?
full-blown conflict.
It isn't even planned. We didn't arrange anything about that. It was just...
We're both taking humongous risks. Be safe at your table, people. Ask for
Yes,
consent if you're not
yes.
sure. But my God, Emmy, I do want to have a debrief at one point just between the two of us about these conflicts and see where the boundaries lie. But I am loving every second of it. You take, you dish out. We're staying on the same level. Love it.
So we as players and spectators have seen some of Astrea's background. I and Emmy, of course, know more, but the idea that Pax is there giving lessons to Astrea on how to captain her ship is fucking hilarious. Because Pax has no idea who she is.
Honestly, Pax isn't even trying to give her lessons. Pax has his own thing he's dealing with and reasons why he's responding that way. Which I'm not going to reveal in an after talk. We're going to see that happen in game if it comes up. But yeah, there is... I think this is also still the process of this crew is fresh and new and still getting to know each other. And all of us have our experiences from our own ships, from our own past.
100%.
As some of the cold opens and intro scenes have shown, it's not all, moonshine and the scent of roses. On the contrary, all of us have baggage. We wouldn't be an adventuring party if we weren't. But we still have that, right? The crew is solidifying. We're all working together. We all want to survive. But we all still have that... Yeah, but that feels wrong. I would do it differently, and my way's right. Fuck you.
And then there's Astrea, who's really like, I understand your feelings, little one, but you need to be able to play nice with people.
Yeah.
That's the second person to say that to Pax. Farron said it in a very nice way, and Astrea just smacked him across the face with it this episode.
Persuasion, intimidation.
Both work.
Both are effective. Yeah.
I would like to also quickly do a little zoom in on our little happy-go-lucky kobold in that moment. Like we've had your intro scene this episode, but also how it came back in the narrative. I adored every speck of that vulnerability of Gizmo that broke through when Farron asked that question. Only to just then get locked back up and walk out and have dinner with the captain and check all the evidence, and nobody asks a question. I'm like, Pax is too... He doesn't know, but Jeremy, the guy in the seat, is like, I want to talk to him. Let me talk to him.
Yeah, it's funny. It's... for now, Gizmo, I think, is the one that has been the least expressive with regards to their background. I don't think... I think who spilled the most with regards to their backstory outside of the cold opens?
I don't think any of us have
You're keeping
decided.
all of you are keeping it fairly close to the vest.
Yeah, there's not been that much exposition about each other's story.
There was this one time when Farron was drunk and essentially started talking about it to, I think it was Gizmo, actually.
Yeah, it was Gizmo.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we are getting a parallel relationships. I'm glad I put you both on either side like this, because there's Astrea and Pax on one end, Farron and Gizmo.
Matched.
It's good. It's good.
Yeah, it also works horizontally because we've had a lot of scenes with Farron and Pax training, and then Gizmo and Astrea. We know it's the first time you guys went off on a mission by yourself, but we've had some golden scene with Pax and Astrea, like taking the spyglass.
Yeah, actually, on this screen, Astrea's top corner, Gizmo's lower corner. But anyway,
Fair.
no, I agree. I mean, look, we can say as well, right? Pax and Gizmo, Astrea and Farron. Astrea and Farron's there's a bit less there. We haven't seen as much, I think. But
The funny thing is that Gizmo is not like super secretive about his past. It's just that people just take him at face value. most of
People
the
take him
time.
for granted. That's what I've been feeling. Gizmo's invisible because people aren't asking him, not because Gizmo wants to be. That's the vibe I get, at least.
That's actually the idea I want to have with Gizmo, because a lot of times we do that in general as people. You just take at face value and then you're like, oh yeah, okay, cool.
oh yeah,
That's-
this one's
but yeah.
no, this one's a happy one. Always watch the happy ones, folks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even
Always watch that
even
happen.
with Farron this time, this was deliberately. He was like, "Oh yeah, you didn't really talk about this much, huh? That must be nothing." And kind of like moves on. So he's supposed to be kind of like more into charisma and stuff and communication, but he's blissfully unaware. He has wisdom of.
Yeah,
barely what happened.
I love the idea. Farron going to Gizmo. You don't talk much about your family, and Gizmo going, "Huh, that's true," and just moving on.
Pretty much.
Isn't that literally what happened?
Yeah.
Don't
the
say.
dialogue.
Funny about that. Let's move on. Yeah, it's no.
The guy has a wisdom of 11. I couldn't kind of like turn him into a therapist, but it felt appropriate to kind of like, hey, what's, especially with the scene you gave us, dear God.
No, we've got many sessions upcoming, so that will be definitely, you've got the time to explore it.
Yeah, we're going to have to consider a few things, though, from here on out, because a lot of positions have moved, and our plan of what we wanted to do with the Pearl and creating a counterfeit and the whole thing is still at 0%.
Yeah, I don't think we're
Very
in the
much.
right place for that.
Aren't we?
Well, let's put it this way. If you are, you're going to have to trust someone.
That's why I'm saying, aren't we? I feel Astrea is building that alliance and trust with them. It would mean finding someone else that would fit that. And glass blowing is a natural art. It's sand, fire, and a metallic tube.
Which probably means that you'll find better glass blowers in Caldera.
Yeah, I was
Probably.
gonna say. I think Caldera is the place for that, but we'll see. For now, Astrea isn't divulging any secrets yet, or anything. She's just happy to comply and show goodwill.
Well,
Because
there is a part of me when I was rewatching the episode of the plan that we were making around the Pearl,
Yeah.
where we said we need to keep Emil Markov as an absolute secret, and I had completely forgotten that we made that agreement, and I saw that episode the same week that we had the episode where Emil was on the deck talking to First Mate Hazel,
Yeah.
fully visible, saying, "Yes, I'm Emil Markov. Yes, yes." And I'm like, well, that's not a secret anymore.
I think there was a situation where they knew he was there, so keeping him secret wasn't exactly
I mean,
an option.
yeah, which is also why the fact that Emil wasn't in the bunker with you guys, and one of the first things that Alman pretty much says, "Oh, by the way, I'd love to have a conversation with your shipwright, Emil, correct?" Knowing fully well that I know he's not with you in the tree. I know he exists, and I will talk to him. It was very much the going and not giving you any shit, right? It could have very well been, so
Yeah.
where's this crew member you're missing? I want all the crew right here with me, right? Because that could have also been. I tried to sort of pass that off as a sign of trust as well. Plus, I think Emil I think they need to be immersed in the ether at least once a day or something along those lines, or every 6 hours. So that's somebody. If you had been taken into jail with Emil, that would have been a rough time. But yeah, no, I think that. Let's see. I've got that here. Interesting. Okay. Anyway, anything else?
Yeah.
Oh, actually, not the Merfolk. It's the other ones. Okay. No, well, unless we have anything else to discuss. Oh, right. Well, you've learned, and now you have a double mission in a way, right? You've got the official mission, which is to deliver food in exchange for water. And you have the unofficial mission, which is pretty much to try and find this Dander character.
Yes,
That would clarify a lot more if we
Yeah.
get our hands on him.
Yeah.
And knowing that that message went out somewhere, so
There's a there might be a time crunch.
there might be a time crunch. Harpy over Wayward, Manticore to Hero Ascendant.
I've got that boldly in my notes in a higher font.
Yeah, which is actually kind of what I should have... That's always the kind of things that I should have never given it to you in writing, right? Was it Hero? Was it Heron? Was it Harpy? Was it Happy? Right? But, yeah. Do I know what that means? No. Do I suspect? Maybe. Will I come up with something? Yes.
That's the way we do it.
That's the way we do it. And that's how we're going to close off for tonight. So
Nice segue.
yeah, well, it's a specialty. To those who have been watching so far, thank you for watching. Thank you for your support. Feel free to do all the things that you do here on YouTube or wherever you're listening to this. We really appreciate you enjoying this. We, as much as we enjoy enjoying ourselves. So, and of course, thank you to my players for tonight's. This is definitely. Jeremy, you mentioned that earlier in the debrief. This is the first game we've played all 5 together. It does not feel like that way. And for that, I am eternally grateful. So.
Grateful to you.
Yes.
So, and grateful all around. So, friends, foes, those undeclared, we will see you next time upon Waves of Starlight. See you then.
See you next time.
There we go.